All right, everybody. So what I'm going to do now is walk you through a couple of different processes to think about when you're kind of putting this whole thing together, because theory is only as good as you can use it, and I'm going to step you through a couple of different ways to use it. The first of which is kind of the way we've laid the course out, the way this course is laid, the way the next course is laid, which is building your rhythm. And for those of you who've done in the first assignment, you might have remembered that I said, okay, great. Now that you did your drums, keep in mind that your drums are probably pitched. And as such, it might dictate the key of everything else that happens. So this first video, while I was preparing for this, I kind of whipped up this really kind of fun little samba Brazilian thing. And I'm going to walk you through how I came to the conclusion to do what I did here. The first things first, I'm going to just kind of walk you through my process. And I pulled up Complete Control, which at this time of this video is version 10, Complete Ultimate, and I was stepping through some drums. I found Battery, and I found through this Session LE kit, and it was a lot of fun. It sounds like, let me actually set it to record ready, and then you can just hear some of the sounds that it makes. Anyway, my drumming skill is not amazing, but good sounds. So I was just screwing around here, and then I made this samba beat, which sounds like this. Never mind the piano. This is a bird's eye view as to what's coming. Let me actually just get that out of the way. You can just hear the drums, and let me pull up the clip. It looks like this. So what I'm doing here is I'm kind of setting us up for a couple of different lessons at the same time. This is the same clip as this, but this is the drum clip. And you can hear it's kind of like a Brazilian samba. And what I wanted to do was, after I laid in this drum, figure out what the hell key I'm in. And so I usually key off of the kick. So if I come and look at the notes here, I'm looking at kick. What I'm actually going to do is come over here, and I'll highlight all of the notes, all of the notes that are not kicks. I'm going to hit 0, and they should. Oh, I'm on the wrong clip. This clip. Great. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over to the piano and see if I can kind of play along with the kick and see if I find a pitch that I like somewhere between here and here. And so I'm going to, I guess what I'll do is I'll take this clip and temporarily turn off the MIDI here so that we don't have to hear it. But I'll play along with. So what I'm literally going to do is I'm literally just going to go kick until I find a note that matches. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, there it is. You see, after a while, I'm just kind of playing pitches. It's going to be a little tough if your ear isn't really ready for this or you haven't done a lot of this work. The best advice I have is honestly just, if it feels good and it sounds good, just go with that. I like to, as you heard at the end there, sing along with, so that as I hear this, boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. So I came up with D flat, or as Ableton likes to call it, C sharp. So that's what I basically did. And listening to the rest of the beat, let me come back here and activate these guys again. Oh, don't do that. Come here. Yeah. I'm just going to listen to the beat and just vibe it out and see what it sounds like. So I'm just kind of vibing out, him playing around in D flat, 151 or 158, just kind of playing around with that. And then the question, of course, is in the right hand, am I major or am I minor? In this case, I chose major. And then I have, of course, my inversion choices. Do I start here? Do I start there? Or do I start there? That's a little high, but it's not bad. I think in this case, what I ended up doing was I started here. And I just did a 1 and a 5 and a 1 and a 5 and a 1 and a 5 and a 1 and a 5. So here's my 1 chord. And my 5 chord, luckily enough, is right there. So there's my voice leading, and my inversions are real close. So I can keep my finger on this note, just like we did in some of the earlier sections. And so that's what I did. And in this case, if I fold these closed and I reactivate them, you'll see that the first note, I've got C sharp and C sharp here. So they're just doing an octave. I'm actually going to get rid of, I'll leave them in there. But here I've got F, C sharp, G sharp, and C sharp. So knowing that I'm in the key of D flat, C sharp, D flat, I see my root is up top here, which means I've got a root, a fifth, a third. I'm in first inversion, which should be right because there they are, first inversion. And then, well, here's the 5, 1, 5. Now I've got 5, 1, 3 of the second chord. So I'm basically doing first inversion and the 1 chord, second inversion of the 5 chord, just going back and forth. And it sounds like this. Now, for the record, what I did was I laid in the right hand. I did. And then, because I had trouble doing it at the same time, I went in when. So I have the bass motion down here, boom, 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 boom. While the chords are doing 1 chord and 1 chord and 1 chord and 1 chord, 5 chord and 5 chord and 5 chord and 5 chord. Oops, don't want to do that. But I do want to get rid of you because you're an extra note. The results are this. And that's working. So one of the other pieces, just to give you another bird's eye as to what would be next, or as you take this central idea and grow it, one of the other things that we did a lot of was to play with inversions. So if we take a look at this, you'll see in the second clip, I'm no longer doing the same inversion. Now I have G sharp, C sharp, F, or properly, as usual, D flat, and then what do I have here? D flat, F, and then A flat, which is proper. And these are my notes here. So now I have, if I turn on the headphones, 1, 3, 5. So in this case, I'm starting with the second inversion, just so I have a little variation between the first clip and then the second clip. And the idea is that the first clip is in one inversion set, and then the second clip is in another inversion set. And in this case, the drums are the same. So this will give you a little bit of like an A variety, B variety. So here's what they sound like. Now, to be fair, this second scene is actually lower in pitch than the first scene. So I would probably, and I'm going to, reverse them so that in the beginning of the song I start with a lower pitch. And then as the song progresses, I move to the higher pitch. And back and forth and back and forth. So this is just the beginning. I started with the drums. I found a good drum set I liked. I played on a beat that I was feeling. I found the kick drum pitch, or at least the pitch that I seemed to think would work for me. I chose major or minor. I started playing around with chords until I found a 2-chord progression. I chose my first inversion and then my inversions for my first and second chord, and then I made a variation of that. And now I have the beginnings of a song. And so what we're going to do next is say, okay, well, now that you've done this, how are you going to take this idea and develop it? And I actually have a whole different piece of music for that, and we're going to go check that out right now.